The emphasis, again, rescue people, especially seniors, those with disabilities, those in life-threatening situations. Okay, that is the focus, and the goal is to get to them before the day is out. I want to also talk about. Let me talk about the Addicts-Barker situation because they have started to release water from Barker addicts, and they're releasing. As of an hour ago, about 2,600 cubic feet per second from addicts, and about 2,000 cubic feet per second from Barker, for roughly about 5,000 cubic feet. That was about an hour. They're going to gradually increase that up to about 8,000 cubic feet, which will go up till about noon. And the reason is the amount of water that's behind Barker and addicts. If they don't release it, then it will go around, specifically addicts. It will go around, and it will create even a major problem. When that water is released, it's going to come downstream. It's going to add water to the whole Buffalo Bayou. For right now, the flood level is steady for right now. But as they increase the water and it comes down, the water level along Buffalo Bayou, in all probability, will increase. When I asked this morning Russ Poppy from the Harris County Flood Control District, could he quantify what that means? How much water will that increase in Buffalo Bayou? At that point, they were still doing their modeling and could not specify at that time. But the water but the water in the Buffalo Bayou is not going to be going down soon. Right now, it's steady, even with the release. But the more they release, it could go up. And so it could create even additional problem, additional flooding. And I'm asking them to quantify, to give me some additional information on that. And we are scheduled to talk again somewhere around noon or a little after noon. So I do want to highlight that situation. They are releasing water, but it's a gradual release. And what they're indicating, that if they don't do it, let's say they hold back the water and it builds up, and then it will be forced, it will go around addicts, and the situation would be exponentially worse. So this is a gradual release. And Steve, you want to speak to it more? Steve Costello.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, we were advised yesterday by the Corps that they were going to start discharging out of both Addicts and Barker. Generally, before a flood, what happens is the gates are closed so that they can contain the water that's coming in from upstream, so that downstream flooding can continue. And so the issue here has to be the fact that they're getting a lot of water in the watershed upstream of the dams, and they're concerned about the water levels rising very, very quickly. So what they're doing now is what we would call a controlled release rate. And at the same time, while they're releasing the water out of the reservoir, they're also real-time monitoring the water levels in Buffalo Bayou. As the mayor said, they're going to try to maintain what's happening there today. So you're not going to see a gradual decrease in Buffalo Bayou. You're actually going to see it at the current level as it is today. If we get more rain downstream, or if they get more water upstream, then that's probably going to change. But we're not anticipating any increase in flooding downstream along Buffalo Bayou. There was a comment that some of the residents don't really know where they live next to what bayou, but if you live next to a major stream that's in between I-10 and Westheimer, that's Buffalo Bayou. So those are the neighborhoods that are going to be challenged over the next couple of hours and the next couple of days, by the way. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Steve. Let me just say to you that this is a dynamic situation, and things could change. They could change by the hour. They could change literally by the day. It's very dynamic. But as we get information, what I will tell you is that we will provide that information to you. And so I've asked them to quantify after they do their modeling. And if at 12 o'clock, if there's a need to increase more, I want them to tell me that they are going to increase more. And if they increase more, I want them to tell me, is that going to raise the level in Buffalo Bayou and get something, whether or not there's going to be more flooding of homes in the area. So this is what we know at this time, but this is a very dynamic situation, and things literally change day by day. And then I want to talk about the Northeast Water Plant. because as of 6 p.m. on yesterday, you have tributaries that are flowing into Lake Houston. And as you know, the waters continue to rise. More water is flowing into Lake Houston, more than can exit out of Lake Houston into the Gulf. And as of 6 p.m. on yesterday, the Northeast Water Plant was completely submerged. And what that means is that we're trying to pump it out. We're working on pumping it out, and I'll have a